You ever spent 5 hours playing a Pokemon game and then turn it off before saving? Ever overestimate your Pokemon's abilities and KO a shiny you've spent thousands of encounters searching for? Well, I have. These are huge mistakes that Pokemon players make and the consequences behind those mistakes. Watch till the end or you'll miss the video of me KOing a shiny Latios and trying to squat 200 pounds. Let's talk about the big first mistake. Saving. No reason to even stay on this one for long, but we all know what it feels like to have a team of fully evolved Pokemon, good TMs, and even level 40s across the board, and the next day you turn on your game and you see a level 16 Monferno and an under-leveled Chinx. Oh, and let's not even talk about when you hear this sound coming from the Gen 3 cartridge. The sound gives me flashbacks. I see my dad, and he's beating me. Now, I saw this next one in a random comment section a few months ago, and it's been stuck with me ever since. The Fire Red and Leaf Green Pokedex. If you've ever played FRLG as a kid, you wouldn't know the big mistake that the Pokedex made. And that was including Pokemon lines that were kind of similar to each other in the same damn page. It took me ages to figure out that Electro doesn't evolve into Porygon. I always thought it was weird that Fire Red and Leaf Green grouped these random mons together in different habitat zones, but honestly, it's the best iteration of an actual encyclopedia if you think about it. Number 3, the physical special split. Oh, boy, is it fun explaining to new Pokemon players the difference between attack and special attack. You see, if you squirt on your opponent, it'll hit its special defense. If you take them down to the ground, touchdown, that'll hit their physical defense. Even as a kid, I didn't understand this bullshit, especially since the subbing of Pokemon games has moves like Spark and Grass Knot. Don't even get me started on Petal Blizzard and Leaf Storm. What about Petals makes them more physical than Leaves? This kind of just turns into know-how or checking every move for physical and special, and probably not even knowing what your Pokemon's best attack stat even is. It's a huge pain in the bunghole reminding people that Spark on Magneton is a big no-no. Thundershock is better even with less power. Even Magneton itself ain't given consent to that tomfoolery. Top 4, stat boost. Especially in the early game, stat boosts don't even mean too much. Your first introduction to stat boosts in early Pokemon games with moves like Howl doesn't do all that much to your damage output since most Pokemon around this stage have low HP anyways. At most, +1 attack, you're doing like 2 to 3 extra damage with pre-level 10 mons. This makes it to where most players underestimate a Swords Dance or a Calm Mind in later stages of the game. Rest in peace, Swampy. That funny Moon and Sunrock cheated. Number 86, not grinding. There's nothing to be ashamed about hitting up the old grinder every once in a while. Plus, if you're hooking up the oldies, they tend to be super slow with not a lot of experience. So just remember to keep yourself preoccupied during the grind session so you don't get burnt out and bored. You need to do it. Otherwise, you'll find yourself getting pounded by Bruno of all trainers. Personal blog. Have you ever wanted to make your own Pokemon fan game? Well, now you can with a huge community called Chat Makes a Pokemon Fan Game. If you're interested, click the video right here and it'll also be in the end card. But yeah, please check it out. We need people to come join our community and help us make this Pokemon game. Submit your own Fakemon characters, blah, blah. Let's get on with the video. Subscribe. In 12th place, we got playing BDSP over Platinum. Have you ever wanted to hate Pokemon? Well, here's your chance. BDSP is a fun-filled experience of being absolutely confused the entire game. On top of that, your Pokemon become overly attached to you, just like your ex-girlfriend. They just won't die, and you get so sick and tired of seeing them live every hit that you take that you just sit there and want to let them take it. Number 9 on the Cincinnati Bengals, we have players getting their girlfriend to play Pokemon with them. Huge mistake, buckaroo, because when inevitably she leaves you, you're stuck with that cartridge, and you'll never have the gonads to wipe the save data. That means her memory is stuck with you forever. Or you just embarrass yourself and she hates the game. But luckily, I never had this issue. Next huge mistake is not reading the dialogue. Seriously, I played Pokemon when I was 5 years old. Unfortunately, I was a pretty ungifted child at that point in my life, so I didn't know how to read. I loved Pokemon, but this clock right here in Pokemon Sapphire and this guy right here in Slateport City ruined my playthroughs. I would kind of just reset the game when I got stuck because I just wanted to keep playing, but I didn't know how to go further. Gosh darn it, Captain Stern. Furthermore, we have not doing your research. Oh boy, Crabrawler, Combee, Salandit, Glaceon, Leafeon, Charjabug, and a ton of other Pokemon. It's a huge bummer to go into a new Pokemon game blind and want to use a Pokemon, but suffer the consequences later on. Some things just aren't mentioned in Pokemon games for some reason, and they make the players suffer. I used Crabrawler and got him to level 40 before realizing that I should probably look up how to evolve this guy. Yep, huge waste of time, instant in the box. Not doing your research comes in a lot of fancy forms. I remember Gen 7 specifically with all the Ultra Beasts. I managed to trade some random person online 5 Ultra Beasts for all sorts of different legitimate shinies that he got in X and Y. It was beautiful. Well, he should have done his research into what the Ultra Beasts are and actually how you get them. Another mistake is wasting your Master Ball. I know that poor Kyogre is hard to catch, little Timmy, but if you miss out on that Latios, you will be sorry. Or you just accidentally use it against a low-leveled Pokemon. Yep, sounds about right. Shiny hunting in the Safari Zone. Huge mistake. Do I need to tell you why? Overestimating your damage output. Here's the time that I found a shiny Latios.
I got it.
And guess what happened? I killed it with knockoff. Beautiful. So I was desperate and spent another 5 hours learning how to RNG manipulate to get it again because I really didn't want to reset for it. Is there anything that I missed? Let me know in the comments. And remember, never let your girlfriend play Pokemon with you. You'll regret it. Subscribe.